Today I'm going to show you how to embroider a face on a stuffed animal. So for this little bunny, I wanted to do eyes, and I also wanted to give it a little bit of a nose and a mouth by creating a little bit of a Y shape. So I'm going to show you how we're going to do that. So first thing is we need our stuffed animal, and then we need a tapestry needle, and we need whatever color thread you want to use. I'm using black worsted weight yarn. It's the same weight that I made the bunny with. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to poke into the back of the head. Okay, so I'm starting back here, the back of the head, and I'm going to pull up to where about I think I want my eye to be. And I'm going to bring almost all of the yarn through, but I'm going to leave a tail at the end. So actually I think that's a little too low, so I'm just going to go in. I'm going to go in and I'm going to move up a little bit. Okay, I think that looks like a good spot to have my eye. So what I'm going to do is you can either do it two ways. You can have it coming down, you can have it going across. You can do little French knots. I don't do well with the French knots, so I'm going to do sideways. So I'm going to go into the next stitch, the next row next to it, and then pop up in the same stitch that I was in. And I'm just going to thread my yarn through. I'm not going to pull it super tight, okay? And then I'm going to go in again to those same two spots. And I'm going to pull it through. And I think I'm going to do one more. And now, instead of popping through again up here, I'm going to go across to where I want my other eye to be. So I'm going to poke around over there. Okay, so that's a good size eye for me. I like that eye, so I'm going to keep it. So now what I want to do is I kind of want to make sure that I'm even, which I am that way. Actually, I think I'm going to move up one stitch. So I'm going to go into where the yarn's coming and just move up a stitch. Really take your time with the placement. You can undo them if you have to. And I think I want to go up even a little bit higher. For some reason it looks lower. Just play around with how you think it looks, and you can actually measure. I'm going to go back down one. So really get the placement of where you want it. I think it's going to look good here. Yep. And then I'm going to go this way. I'm going to make the eye up a little bit. So again, I'm going about the same width across. And then once I do this first stitch, I'm still going to make sure that it looks the way that I want it. And I think that looks pretty good. So I'm going to go back in from one side to the other side. And then pull tight again. And do one more. And now I'm going to work the nose. So I'm going to poke out around the front. I'm just going to take a look at my eyes again, make sure I like where they are, which I do. So now I want to come across here. So I'm going to come this way, and then I want to poke out in the middle. So I'm going to poke out here. And what I'm actually going to do is, you see how now my yarn that I poked in the middle is actually underneath this big loop? That's what we want, because as we pull this tighter, it's gonna pull it down into a V or a U shape. You see how it pulled that U down? And then I'm gonna again make sure I like the placement. And then I'm just gonna go in here down a little bit, so I'm making the bottom part of my Y. And then I think I like it just with one strand. If you want to do a double layer, you can. And I'm going to poke through to the back of my head because I'm going to tie off. Okay, so as you pull it through, that'll tighten up. And again, you don't want to tighten it too much. And then take a look at your face. I think that's a really cute face. I like the way it looks, so I'm going to keep it. So now I'm along the back. And we want to get our tail that we just put in to come out the same spot that the very beginning was in. So I'm just going to move it over. Okay, so we're coming out of the same spot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut most of my yarn so that my two tails are even. And I'm going to make a double knot in this. Now you may be thinking, why are you doing this on the outside? We're going to bury it, okay? So I'll show you what we're going to do. But this knots it so that way, nothing will come undone. So we're going to thread our tapestry needle again. Let me just unthread the current one. Thread them with both tails. And then go into this same spot and then poke through on the opposite side. So I'm going in here and I'm poking through the opposite side of my bunny. I'm going to pull up on these tails a little bit and being very careful not to cut the fabric, I'm going to cut these tails. And you see how they vanished right inside? There's nothing over on this side, nothing here. And now we have our face that is secure. And that is how you would embroider a face for a bunny.